Welcome to Art with Mrs. Connors. Today we are going to be creating these really cool line design drawings using oil pastels to create a wax resist. This project is going to be emphasizing line, and you can have it where your paper has lines either going in rows, or you can have it where your lines are a little spread out and kind of more random. That is totally fine. You are the artist. You are going to be the one to decide how it looks. So here you can see I have several different examples. And by the time that we're done drawing with oil pastels, this is what it'll look like. So the materials you're going to need today for this project are a piece of paper. Now, the paper that we're using today, I'm using a mixed media paper, which is a paper that can be painted on or drawn on. You can also use watercolor paper. Both types of paper will hold up very well when it comes to painting. You can use a bit of water and the paper is not going to tear or rip. So another material that we're going to be using today are oil pastels. And you can see here that I've got several different types of oil pastels, and each one is a different brand. So the first kind that I'm going to show you are called water-soluble oil pastels. And these are ones that if you were to draw and then paint over with a wet paintbrush, you would get this very loose and painterly look to it. The paintbrush and the water are helping to blend the colors together, like in the picture here. So we're not going to use these oil pastels because we want our drawing to be nice and crisp and clean. So this next brand is one of my favorites, Crepes. I love these ones because the colors are nice and vibrant and very rich, and there's a large variety of colors. As you can see here, this is a beautiful set. There's lots of different colors, and the colors are nice and rich and very vibrant. But with how skinny these are, they can break very easily, and plus these are a nicer quality, and so we're going to save them for another project in a future time because we want ones that are kind of thicker. The next ones I'm going to show you are my go-to brand, which is the Crayola oil pastels. I like them because they are a little chunkier, so it works out perfectly for small hands. They've got a good bunch of colors. The colors are nice and rich and vibrant, and they're easy to hold on to. Sometimes they do break, like this one, but it is still usable. You can still work with it. It just might make your hands a little dirty. We're going to do a quick little lesson on line. Now, there are a lot more lines than what I talk about here. I'm just focusing on some basic lines. Now, I keep throwing around this word line. What is a line? Well, a line is a dot that went for a walk. So, looking here on my messy mat, that's another thing I forgot to mention. You want to make sure you have a messy mat to work on because as you can see, art is messy. You're going to get paint and marker and oil pastel all over the place. So you want to make sure you have a messy mat to work on. This way you keep all of your mess on here. For a messy mat, I recommend getting a piece of oak tag or poster board from Dollar Tree. And that can get used over and over again because it's heavy duty. And the nice thing is that if it gets too messy and you're not comfortable using it anymore, you can flip it over to the clean side, or you can throw it out and get another one because it only costs you $1 or $1.50, depending on where you bought it from. Okay, so now going back to lines. A line is a dot that went for a walk. So if we think about it, we have a dot. And I'm going to do this with a marker so it's easier for you to see, because you might not be able to see my pencil. So we have a dot. Now, let's say I wanted to go to the left. I just create a line. Let's see, maybe I go down. Oh, I made a line again. Maybe I'm gonna go to wiggle. I'm gonna swirl. I made another line. Let me do another dot. And this time I'm gonna go up, down, up, down, up, down. I just create another line. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. So I'm going to break down different types of lines. So when our dot goes for a walk, we can do a vertical line. Vertical is up and down. So think about a wall, how a wall goes up and down. Or I think about the wood that's around my door. When I'm walking through a door, there is wood on the sides that goes up and down. That is going vertical. So it goes up and down. That's this one. If my line were to go side to side, that is called horizontal. So think about the horizon. The horizon is an imaginary line that is where the earth and sky meets. So a best example of this, I think, is when I was younger, I used to go on vacation with my family on a boat. And we would be on the water. And there would be eventually a point where you wouldn't see any more land. You would just see water and then sky. And at some point in the distance, you would see the water and the sky touching. That is called the horizon line. Okay, then we have diagonal. Diagonal is when it goes up and down and towards the side. So it's not straight up and down, it's a little crooked. And then we've got zigzag, which is where you go up, down, up, down, up, down. And you can have it where it's a perfect zigzag where it goes up and down about the same height. Or you can have it where it varies. It goes up and down different ways. A wavy line, think about waves of the water. They go like this. They go up and down, but they're not zigzag where they're perfectly straight up and down. They curve. Okay? That's a wavy line. Then we have a curvy line. So this was a curvy line. It went curve like that. But if I were to continue to go this way in one direction, that's called a spiral. Okay? So a curvy line can go the same way. It can go like that, or it can go back up and down like that. So you can decide how you want your curvy line to look. A broken line would be where you pick up your marker or your pencil or your oil pastel every so often after drawing a little line. But it's still going in the same direction and it's still going in a line. A broken line can be a zigzag line. A broken line can be a curved line. A broken line can be a swirl or a spiral. We have geometric, where it is very rigorous. So geometric is where it's straight and it has a particular design. So it could go like this, 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 it could be like this. Oh my goodness, look, I just made a shape. So a shape is when we close our line. So we have it where our line starts somewhere and it goes around and then goes back to the beginning. We're not focusing on shapes today. We're just focusing on lines. So we want to make sure that our lines start in one place and end in a different place. So if you did an organic line where it's just kind of like all over the place, like, I don't really know what I'm making. If I left it like that, it's still a line. But if I were to continue it and go, and I closed it, that's now a shape. So we want to focus on lines and not shapes. Then we have thick, where you're like really going at it. You're drawing in the same place over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, like that. And then we have thin, where it's just like a shoop. It's one skinny line. We're gonna be drawing different types of lines with our oil pastels. And I can even go back in here you're going to be using all of your colors here, including black and white. And you might want to go back in after you're done, like I'm doing now, and kind of make some things a little bigger, a little thicker, maybe a little heavier. So it's up to you. But I want you to pause my video and go find the video, Lines That Wiggle, and then you're going to come on back over here and learn how to do this project. Welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed the video Lines That Wiggle and learned all about different types of lines. Now, when we get started, I want you to write your name on the back of your paper. And I tell you to write your name. This way, if you are making artwork with a friend or a sibling, you can tell which paper is yours. Next, you're going to decide if you want your paper to be horizontal or if you want it to be vertical. The choice is up to you. I'm going to keep mine vertical. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our oil pastels to draw various types of lines. When drawing, you want to fill your paper with lines, but you also want to make sure you leave some empty spaces. I like to start by drawing one large line. So you can see that I'm drawing a wavy line and it is going from one side to the other. Now I'm going back in to make it thicker and darker by coloring back in some of the areas. I'm going to speed up the video so you can see this in Teacher Fat's time. So you can see here, I'm making sure to go back into some of those empty areas and fill it in. I'm using a white oil pastel because there's a special magic trick that happens when you use white oil pastel and colored paint. So you can see here, I'm making sure to go back into some of those empty areas and fill it in with more color. There we go. That looks good. In part 2, I'm going to be showing you about color mixing and painting and how to clean your paintbrush so that way you can do the next step of this project. Have a good day.